What's going on, YouTube? So right in my line of sight, we have all the N products, and they have evolved up to what you see right here next to me. This is the all-new Hyundai IONIQ 5 N. This is the first of several new electrified N products that Hyundai says are coming soon. And this thing, let me tell you guys, is absolutely bonkers. So let's go ahead and take a detailed first look at this product. Now, the first place that this thing is absolutely crazy is in terms of the exterior design. So let's start with that. IONIQ 5 really in general is already a pretty cool looking vehicle, but this just takes things to 10 out of 10. So you'll notice up here in the front, totally different grille arrangement is going on. We have a full black fascia up here. We've got this kind of gray finish going on with our red accenting, and you'll notice the same red accents are going to continue down here on the lower fascia as well as all around the rest of the exterior of the vehicle. I really like the way this looks, and it overall looks a lot wider than the regular version, and of course you're going to have support for more airflow to get into that battery pack. Now, as we come over here to our headlights, we do have that cool pixel LED design going on, just like all the other IONIQ 5s. Very unique look here as well. Now moving on to this area, we have functional aero. So you'll notice these vents here on the side. Moving into the wheel area, this is a 21-inch alloy wheel. Very cool looking design on board. I love the contrast finish overall. And of course we do have a matte paint color. This is the kind of signature Hyundai N product blue. You've seen this in a lot of their other models, but this is a matte finish, which I think looks really cool. We also have the gloss black finish up here on the mirrors, all the technology you expect, including blind spot monitoring.
Now here at the side of the IONIQ 5N, of course the overall length isn't going to change, but what does change is the design. This thing looks so cool. So as far as some of the design elements I want to point out, of course we do have our flush mount door handles like all the IONIQ 5s. However, here at the side, as we drop down below like the rear wheel area, you will notice that we have some additional vents to get some airflow in. And we're also going to have this piece that's actually going through the entire side that's finished in a piano black and that red kind of color for the N models. Now as we move to the rear design, once again we're going to have a really cool look. I'm honestly surprised Hyundai was able to make this IONIQ 5N look as different as they did, because this thing really looks like a completely different product. Now as far as the design elements, we of course have a big spoiler up at the top. You can actually see that we have a lot of vent detailing going up on this upper part. We also have a exposed rear wiper, blacked out Hyundai branding, and as far as our taillights are concerned, we're going to have the same IONIQ 5 taillights, which of course have that really cool pixel theme. They're going to be full LED taillights. Now what's new for the N model is that we once again have that like satin chrome finish going through here, some more of that red in the middle, and then down here at the lower area they have completely made this different because we have a very aggressive diffuser. Of course, we have the wider stance for the 5N model, and we don't have any exposed exhaust outlets. This is an all-electric product, but honestly, with an aggressive diffuser that looks like this, I don't really miss the exhaust outlets. And this IONIQ 5N has a really cool feature that you can actually simulate exhaust sounds from the 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder in the Elantra N model on the inside. And you don't really care that much about the safety systems when it comes to this product. You want to see the inside, so I won't waste too much of your time, but you will have all of your safety features available on this product because it is an IONIQ 5 after all. But let's check out the inside, but first,
if you're new here, we're brothers, and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16. We may be young, but we love cars.
And we'd love for you to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family. Let's learn a lot, have some fun with all the latest cars.
Let's check out the interior. Of course, you have the pop-out door handles like the other IONIQ products. And then taking a look inside the interior, this is actually the first time I've been inside this model, and you can so clearly see that this is a very different interior really from the standard version. Now as far as the seats, they are going to be performance buckets, as you can tell. really thick bolsters on board, Alcantara in the center, lighted in logo right there in the middle. But let's go ahead and climb inside. Now, IONIQ 5 has a really cool interior. Thankfully, most of those elements will carry on for the N model. So you still have nice materials all in the door trim with leather wrapping. You've got cool ambient lights that run throughout, and it is going to be soft touch all along the upper parts of the dash. Now, there are going to be quite a few differences as well, like I already mentioned. The most profound difference is going to be right here. So check out this steering wheel. Really, really cool steering wheel. I love this design. It is super unique. We have like a floating panel of buttons here. We have our in mode controllers right there. And we also have our in grin boost, which is what that is going to stand for right there. When you press that, you actually activate temporarily additional horsepower. And I'll talk about some of the power figures a little later in the video, but just like with those gas-powered ends, that is going to continue on with this first electric in. Now, in terms of the paddles on the back of the wheel, you do have simulated gear changes as well. That's another thing I want to talk about in terms of the powertrain later on in the video, but the steering wheel itself will be manual tilt and telescoping. Now, this area here has also been changed up. So we have a different storage selection, including our center console right here. We do have a huge storage area with pop-out cup holders. You got your chargers right there, wireless phone charging pad in the center, and this kind of floating console is new, where previously you have a big gap in the center. Climate controls, those are going to remain the same. As you can see, it's going to be a 3-zone automatic. You have volume knob for your Bose sound system, which you can get on this model. And then up top here, we have the latest Hyundai software. This is going to be a dual setup 12.3-inch display. This is going to have the new software, which allows you to have wireless Android Auto and wireless Apple CarPlay, except it says use a USB. And as you can see, this does have new graphics. You'll have dedicated in performance gauges that you can access right here on this screen. Up top, we have our auto dimming mirror, 3 Homelink universal remotes, and I can't open it up because we don't have a panoramic sunroof. So if you remember, the regular version is going to have a full glass roof, but this will not. Obviously, that is for weight savings and keeping that weight distribution down low.
And let's check out the rear seats. Now, there's not a ton to talk about because this rear area is not that different from a regular IONIQ 5, so I'm not going to bore you with those details. I really want to get to the part where you've been waiting on, the powertrain section. Now, I do want to mention a few things, though. First of all, I am noticing that you get the rear view of these beautiful seats here in the back. It looks so cool. We even have in branding specifically, and it's actually going to be done in like a leatherette material as opposed to a cheap plastic. So I'm happy Hyundai's not cutting any corners. Additionally, we do have 2 USB-C ports back here and really nice Alcantara and leather seats. We also do have 2 cup holders inside of here. But let's talk about the cargo area right before we talk about the powertrain. And opening this area up, of course, you can get a good look at those LED taillights. Of course, you're going to actually have a lot of practicality for something with this level of performance. So you have a ton of space back here. The seats do fold 60-40 split, and we also have some LED illumination and a little bit of underfloor storage. But let's go ahead and talk about what you've really been waiting on.
Now, let's talk about what is under the hood. Obviously, nothing is actually under the hood per se. It's really along the bottom of the vehicle because it is a full electric model. An 84 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery pack is going to make the foundation of this system with dual motor all-wheel drive. Now, total power on this is 601 horsepower. If you press the boost, you will boost that up to 641 horsepower. So that obviously is a pretty tremendous power number that is going to deliver a lot of performance. And we can't wait to test this out, which is something we will be doing on this channel, by the way, testing this out fully, putting it through its performance paces to let you guys see that performance in action. Now, in terms of other things we're talking about, this does have simulated gear changes, but it's not in the kind of conventional way that you might understand it being on a CVT. This is going to be a real simulation in the sense that you are actually controlling the amount of power that you are able to deliver to the vehicle. You can even bog it down if you're in the wrong gear. It really gives you an actual sensation of an 8-speed dual clutch automatic transmission like the other N models have. Additional cool touches include several different customizable EV or even engine sounds from the 2.0T that you can choose. And also you have a electronic limited slip differential with 11 different ways that you can adjust to send the torque. Now let's talk a little bit about pricing and availability. So you actually won't have to wait too much longer to get your hands on one of these if you want one. Hyundai is saying this will be available in March 2024. So that's not too long from now. In terms of pricing, we do have an estimate of about $60,000, which if you consider the level of performance you're achieving with this model is actually quite impressive. And guys, that is where we are going to conclude this in-depth first look walk around of the all-new Hyundai IONIQ 5N. We hope you enjoyed this and you found it helpful, and if you did, we would appreciate if you would go down below and subscribe. When you subscribe, you make it possible for us to attend events like the Los Angeles Auto Show. That way we can show you the newest and latest cars on the market, as well as go to the press events, which will allow us to actually sample awesome products like this coming up next year. Anyways, we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.